Nak Nawaha a Bar Sha'Allah Lakim La Adam Call Shabawai Baharakhawa Kakshaw Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah Ma'amath, which is truly, hey, with the Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in, week out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, to preach to so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, and Israelite foreigners. Nachamatam Kaya Hamlaka Hashemayim Korah, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Kahalayim La Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shah Bahasham Racha Kodash Wamashana Kabadim Zakwayim Nawa Wa Malakim Shaw Yashal Zakwayim Racha Garawa Wa Chasa Wa Shalom Wa Barakim Laha Bacharim Shaha Kabaya Shah Shalom. Right, so all praise to the Most High Yahweh, which means he exists. Bahasham, in the name of Yahweh Shai delivers. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Israel, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And mercy, peace, and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom, which means peace. All right, this is Tahoyim, Psalms chapter 19 and verse 1. And we can go down to verse 6. So it says, the heavens declare the glory of the Most High, and the firmament sheweth his handiwork. All right, which this is going into the satellites, because essentially they were a engine to get this word spread on the internet, on the World Wide Web. I want to touch on this word firmament. All right, just going into that point. So it says firmament. It says rakwayai. All right, and it says extended surface, solid, expanse, firmament, expanse, flat as base, support, firmament, of vault of heaven, supporting waters above, because you got the waters beneath and you got the waters above. So let's go into that. So it says rakwayai. And it says firmament. All right. So Ra going into the head, which is the upper part, the beginning, the highest. All right. Then you got the Kwa, which is represents the sun on the horizon. And then you got the Ya part, which represents to part or to divide. And then you got the I part, which is to see, which this word essentially goes into. It says the upper part of the sky, in which the sun travels on the horizon, that divides the lower waters from the upper waters. All right, I'm going to get a precept that's going into that and then go back to it. All right, this is Bara'ash, the Genesis chapter 1, and we get verse 6. It says, and the Most High said, or and the powers, Allahayim, said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the water, so in the middle, and let it divide the waters from the waters. All right, so the upper waters, all right, the waters in the heavens from the waters beneath, which is the waters on the earth. So the firmament is what gave the division. Going back to what it said right here. It says the upper part, Ra'ash, is your head, all right, but it can be applied figuratively as well. The upper part, you got the Kwa, the sun on the horizon. When you look at the sun in the sky, like wherever you at on the earth, the sun will rise in the east and then set in the west, and it always follows the horizon, all right, which is where the earth meets, pretty much where the earth meets the sky, so it follows that pattern of the firmament, and then that I part is to see, because if you was to look at the pattern of the sun, or the direction of the sun, it will go from one place to the next. All right, you can see this visually with your eyes. That's why I is right there, because it's rakwayai, or rakwayai, all right, which is the firmament, all right, pretty much the upper part of the sky. And this is where the satellites are, and it's essentially how we get the internet and social media and et cetera, but first and foremost for this truth. All right, now I want to go back. So it says, go back to that Tahoyim chapter 19, Psalms, and verse 1. We get that word for firmament. All right, and it reads the definition. It says Psalms 19 and 2. It says rakwayai, and it says rakwayai hashamayim, the firmament of heaven, spread out like the hemisphere above the earth, from the root, rakwai, like a splendid pellucid sapphire, to which the stars were supposed to be fixed, and over which the Hebrews believed there was an heavenly ocean, or going into the waters above. It says compare, however, it says firmamentum, which pretty much the point was, it's waters above, or you got the waters above and you got the waters beneath, but pretty much that firmament is going into what divides the waters above with the waters beneath. All right, and that's where that's essentially where the satellites are, all right, in the upper skies. So it says, day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night sheweth knowledge. All right, because essentially this word goes out daily. All right, let's get that. This is Yeshaya, also Isaiah, chapter 62. Let's get verse 6. It says, I have set watchmen, which that word watchman goes into Shamarim, which means to save a life, all right? Pretty much to act as guards for the nation of Yasha'Allah, all right, the 12 tribes. All right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, and Israelite foreigners scattered across the four corners of the globe, all right? So it says, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, all right? And walls are meant for your protection. If you was to look at like the Great Wall of China, you know, say it was like a war or something in the ancient world, you know, I believe that that wall will be used to protect those on the other side of the wall. So with that, on that same token, you know, the prophets are up on that tower, Salah, pursuant to Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. All right, I will stand upon my watch. All right, pretty much guarding the nation. All right, from the different evils in the spirit. So it says, "Oh Yerushalayim, Jerusalem." It says, which shall never hold their peace day nor night, yea, that make mention of the Lord keep not silence. Going back to Psalms 19 and verse 2, it says, day unto day uttereth knowledge, and night unto night, roughly paraphrasing. So it says, and give him no rest. It says, which shall never hold their peace. All right. Pretty much pushing out this word daily. So it says, day nor night, yea, that make mention of the Lord keep not silence. It says, give him no rest till he establish him, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. So pretty much push this truth, you know, into the kingdom, you know, until we ultimately get that rest. All right, because that's essentially when Jerusalem will be a praise in the earth. All right. So it says, the Lord hath sworn by his right hand and by the arm of his strength, surely I will no more give thy corn to be meat for thine enemies, and the sons of the stranger shall not drink thy wine, for the which thou hast labored. Pretty much the curse is going to be reversed. The curse is going to go on our enemies. So it says, but they that have gathered it, which that verse 8 was going into, pretty much, you know, we'll have the abundance. You know, we're not no longer going to have to struggle like we do on this side. So it says verse 9, but they that have gathered it shall eat it and praise the Lord, because we're going to be able to serve the Lord and to the fullest, you know, in the kingdom, because we'll be perfect. So it says, and they that have bought it together shall drink it in the courts of my holiness. Go through the gates, prepare ye the way of the people, cast up the highway, gather out the stones, lift up a standard for the people. And that's essentially what's going on, you know. Which that standard represents something that people can run to, you know, that there is still hope going into these scriptures. All right, back to Tahoyim, Psalms chapter 19. Let's get verse 3. It says, there is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. All right. And that goes into all languages. All right. Shapawath call, all right, which means Shapa is tongues. Wath makes it plural. All right. So tongues are languages. Call is all. Let me get a scripture. This is James chapter 1. Chapter 1 and verse 1. It says, James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord Yahweh Shahamashayak, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. All right, going back to this point right here, Tahoyim, Psalm chapter 19 and verse 3, it says, there is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. All right, so you got brothers that speak all languages. All right, it's brothers that speak sign languages, brothers that speak English, it's brothers that speak all various different types of languages. And if not, you know, if you go on YouTube, you can translate it into another speech, you know, and even get the subtitles. So Jake don't have an excuse to say, oh, I ain't hear the word, you know. Verse 4. So it says, their line is going out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world, and then in them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. So it says their line, all right, which that line ultimately goes into those broadbands, all right, those lines that go to the different devices to the satellites. And I actually want to get that as well, because these satellites, all right, they sit, they call it geostationary. We're just gonna go into it. It says a circular equatorial orbit. You know how Esau, use these big ass words. It says, in which it circles the earth once per sidereal day, so that it appears stationary in relation to the earth's surface. So geostationary is applied to the satellites. That's why it says of satellite. So it says, which, and also geostationary mean, it pretty much pertains to the earth. That's why the geo is right there. Stationary pretty much means to be still, so geostationary, geo still, earth still. So it pretty much is watching or it's around the earth, So it says, what is the simple meaning of geostationary? It says that, I'm going to skip down. So it says, requiring an angular velocity the same as that of the earth, so that the position of a satellite in such an orbit is fixed with respect to the earth. So pretty much its duty is to be in the earth's atmosphere. That's essentially what it's getting into. It says a geostationary satellite is an earth orbiting satellite, placed at an altitude of approximately 22,000 miles. It says geostationary. It says position in an orbit above the earth's equator with an angular velocity the same as that of the earth, and an inclination and eccentricity approaching zero, which pretty much the point is, satellites are geostational. All right, and right here we got geo to the left. Right here it says geo, G from the Greek. It says earth. All right, and then we got this right here. It says station. It says having no apparent motion, motionless. Pretty much going into how it is stationary to the earth. It is made firm to the earth. All right. So then I put in do broadband, because that's the line that's talking about in Psalms. Let's go into that right fast. So it says, this line, it says qua. All right, masculine, coming from kwawa. So it says line, measuring line. All right, and it says figuratively a rule, also a rim, a musical string, a chord. All right, then down here it says to stretch out a measuring cord, to measure anything. All right, and it says salak. It says a string of a harp, hence sound. All right, a measuring cord, pretty much going into again those lines going to the satellites. A rule going to satellites. It says a cord as connecting. And when you got Wi-Fi, they say, oh, I don't have any connection. You got some connection. You got service. Because those lines go to those satellites. All right, and just to prove that, let's go back to this. Actually, let's go into this word as well. Salaklaya. All right, it says where it was line. All right, so it says Y goes into join. It's like a hook. When you join something, you fasten it. So it's fastened. All right, sun on the horizon. And then also Qua goes into time. The sun on the horizon, it takes time. That's why they had I believe it was Northern Kingdom, but they would take the sundials and then it'll make like a little clock, going off the sun, because the sun on the horizon, that can equal time, that's been used as time. So this goes into time as well. Qua. And it says time fasten, qua. All right, a line. Because qua that goes into This word qua, going back to the blue letter, it goes into patience. It'll also go into patience because it's time sensitive. It goes into time. Let me go into it. Right here. Qua wa. Right here. And it says to wait patiently. To expect, going into time. Now, the reason I want to get that is because there was lines going to the satellites. It says, just like rush hour on roads, the internet experiences periods of increased traffic, ultimately affecting your connection speed. Going back to that line, broadly, internet speed tends to be at its fastest in the early morning and late at night when fewer people are online. Going back to that line, it said that line went out through all the earth. Let's read it again. It says, verse 4, their line is going out through all the earth, their connection, all right, and their words to the end of the world, and them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun. All right, now let me go back to this. It says, how is broad speed? It's a lot. It says, does the time of day affect internet speed? Yes, the time of day can affect internet speed. All right. It says factors affecting the speed and quality of internet connection. Going into that line, if the user changes locations, the speed may change because the signal varies depending on the coverage area. You see, because ultimately, those broadbands, those lines are, that's how ultimately how the connection, and that's how the word is pushed out. That's how the word is pushed out. That's how we can see that something may happen live somewhere else, and we can see it on our phone live because the connection is good. That line is good. So it says there are a number of factors which can affect the speed of your broadband connection. The broadband, going into that line connection, the following tips could bring your connection back up to speed. And speed ultimately goes into how quick it is, because qua wa, all right, that goes into patience, all right, and patience has something to do with the speed of different things. All right, so let's get Romans chapter 10. Let's get verse 15. It says, and how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things. But they have not all obeyed the gospel. 2/3. For Yeshaya, Esaias saith, Lord, who hath believed our report? So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Most High. It says, but I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and their words into the ends of the world. Let me get this. It says utterance, musical note. All right, let's go back to this. Let's get Psalms chapter 19, and we'll get verse 4. This is the word for qua. It says hence sound. It says string of a harp. Going into those notes. Going into how the script, how this word was pretty much pushed out. All right, going back to Romans chapter 10, we'll get back to verse 18. It says, but I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily their sound went into all the earth, and their words into the ends of the world. All right, now back to Psalms chapter 19 and verse 4, because pretty much that was a quote. All right, it says their line is going out through all the earth, and their words into the end of the world. All right, Romans 10 and 18. All right, so it says, in them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as the bridegroom cometh out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. All right, and that bridegroom is Yahweh Shah. All right, so it says, his going forth is from the end of heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. All right, because when Yahweh Shah comes back, he coming back. He not coming back as a man. Let's get this, and I'm gonna go ahead and close it. This is Malachi chapter 4 and verse 1. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts. that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. But unto you that fear the name, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness, Yahweh Shah, arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stalk. All right. So pretty much, when Yahweh Shah comes back, he's coming back to destroy and with healing in his wings for the elect. All right. But pretty much going into verse 5, it says, which as a bridegroom, Yahweh Shah coming out of his chamber and rejoices as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. You see, I'm going to get this. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 8. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. You see, because first and foremost, this word is going to go out. All right, like we just went into in Psalm chapter 19. All right, this word is going to go out. It's going to, destroy everything, all the lies, the robbery, everything that pretty much Esau, the witchcraft, is pretty much going to consume all that, because that's essentially what Esau takes pride in. That's what he holds fast to. All right, so that's why it says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. All right, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. All right, the spirit of his mouth, going into how the prophets are going to bring out the word that represents the Lord's mouthpiece, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. You see, it's pretty much they're going to be destroyed with this word. All right, and then the Lord's going to come back, and he's going to clean up, not clean up, but pretty much destroy 2/3 of these heathen. All right, and then round up, these heathen for slavery. All right, the first fruits of slavery. You see, so I don't want to Zaza by Naya Pa, Lord's will. That was a beautiful edification through the Spirit, going into the Hoyam Psalms 19 and verse 1 to 6. All right. Wa I don't want to Zaza Adam Yashlay Allah Tawabe, Lord's will. You all have a good night. A call Layim La Yahweh Bahasham. Yahweh Shah Bahasham Racha Hakwadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. And much respect to you bros out there pushing this truth with all righteousness and sin.